Hello, my name is Victoria Rivas, and my project is on female painters that influenced the Renaissance and Baroque eras. I will be specifically looking over 3 artists of that time and depict and talk about how they had influenced not only their own paintings in their own specific styles, but also the era as a whole. I am also a graphic design artist, so I have creative graphics and informational slides based on their paintings. The color palettes are derived from their original paintings that I will be looking over, as well as the florals that are depicted are also different national flowers of Italy. I have created the graphics to represent as if these women were alive today, and what a informational graphic or as it were to be if they had a show, what it would look like nowadays. Thank you. For Elisabetta Sorani, I have given her a color palette that is based off of her oil and canvas painting, Portia Wounding Her Thigh. Throughout this painting, she is given a deep contrast of different beiges, reds, blues, greens, and blacks. Sorani was known for being a believer in the plain living and high thinking, her words from working precisely and quickly. Sorani supported her family from the age of 19, churning out over 200 works in her too brief career. By her mid-teens, Sorani had already outpaced her teachers, including her painter father, and soon enough was earning herself commissions from the likes of Alpha Patron, Grand Duke Cosimo III de' Medici. A teacher more to than a dozen female artists in the fertile city of Bologna, Sorani died suddenly at the age of 27. Some scholars believe that her death was due to overworking. Others claim that she was poisoned. While alive, she dedicated her canvases to striking biblical and allegorical scenes featuring women, usually infused with the deft chiaroscuro. Her paintings of Mary Magdalene and the Dahlia are portrayals of bold women. But it is the Portia Wounding Her Thigh in 1664 that highlights a breakthrough in depicting the courageous modern woman in a calm, virtuous pose. Lavinia Fontana was known as a strong-minded character in the world of the Renaissance. Fontana had found fame advancing portraiture techniques by cleverly slipping symbolic still life objects into her paintings. Her style was especially admired by Pope Paul V, one of her main sitters. Not only did this technique exhibit her considerable artistic skills, but it also gave spectators insight into her intellectual thinking. She had also had a rarefied way of living, also as seen as in a portrait of the clavichord with a servant, 1577, for example. In 1611, 3 years before her death, Felice Antonio Castoni struck a medal in her honor that depicts the artist at work, bursting with imaginative ideas, her head covered with wild strands of hair, and her mouth is bound, symbolizing the mute poetry of her painting. Now, excuse me for mispronouncing this next artist's name, but the next I had examined Artemisia Gentileschi's paintings. Born on the cusp of the Baroque era, Gentileschi created high dramatic and at times very blood-ridden scenes that some had considered to be more striking than anything painted by a woman before. Many attribute this to her sexual assault at the age of 19 at her much older teacher and friend of her artist father, Orazio Gentileschi. It had been argued that she projected herself onto the scenes of powerful women, many of whom were often exacting revenge. Today, she is recognized as one of the most skilled of Caravaggio's followers. With a career that spanned a staggering 40 years, Gentileschi's canvases were never timid. In the past, scholars had argued that it was too hard to believe that a woman was behind these canvases. They were triumphant portrayals of biblical and Roman heroines were seemingly unlikely to have been painted by a man. Her determined psychological advanced depictions of the Judith and Lucretia were embedded with stunning lightning effects from Caravaggio. It would be a mistake to let the traumatic experiences from her youth override her formidable painting skills. Attached are the sources that I had used for this project. Thank you so much for watching.